Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to present second part of collection of data. In first part we had studied what are the sources of data. In today's lesson we are going to see different data collection techniques. But before that, if you didn't subscribe my channel, please subscribe so that you can get notification for next video. Let's get started. Census. It is a method of collecting data where data is collected from each and every element of the population or universe, and there is 100% enumeration. It is more reliable and accurate since there is 100% enumeration. It is more costly and time consuming. It requires more number of enumerators. It is difficult to verify or cross-check the data, may not be possible to verify in case of large amount of data. For example, data collected by Census of India. Sampling. It is a method of collecting data where only some representative items of the population are selected for the study. It is less reliable and less accurate since only part of the universe is taken into account. It is less costly and less time consuming. It requires less number of enumerators. It is easier to verify or cross-check since it involves less data. For example, sampling data collected by NSSO. Suitability of census over sampling can be used either when the population is homogeneous or heterogeneous, when the area of investigation is limited, when high degree of accuracy is desirable. Suitability of sampling over census. When the area of investigation is large and population is homogeneous. When there are time and cost constraints. When less number of enumerators are available. Difference between census method and sampling method. Parameters. First, nature of inquiry. In census method, the extensive inquiry is conducted at each and every unit of the population is studied. Whereas in sampling method, the limited inquiry is conducted as only a few units of the population are studied. Second, economy. Census method, more time, money and labor, it requires a large amount of money, time and labor. Whereas sampling method, less time, money and labor, relatively less money, time and labor are required. Third, suitability. Census method is more suitable if the population is heterogeneous in nature, whereas sampling method is more suitable if the population is homogeneous in nature. Reliability and accuracy. In census methods, results are quite reliable and accurate under the census method, whereas in sampling method, the undersampling method results are less reliable because a high degree of accuracy is not achieved. Organization and supervision. It is very difficult to organize and supervise the census method. The sampling method is comparatively easy to organize and supervise. Verification. Under this method, result of the investigation cannot be verified. Whereas in sampling method, under this method, results can be tested taking out another small sample. Nature of method. Census method is an old method of investigation and it is not a very scientific method. Whereas sampling method is a new and practicable method and it is a scientific method. Merits of census method. First is intensive study. It provides intensive and in-depth information covering many facets of the problems. Like in a population census, not only the number of persons is counted, but the information is also collected on various other parameters, like the number of males and females, age, education, marital status, occupational level, income, health conditions, etc. Second, results are more accurate and reliable. Since in this type of investigation, every item of the universe is taken into account, the conclusions are more accurate and reliable. Demerits of census method. First, costly method. Since the data are obtained for or from each and every unit of the population, it is a very expensive method of investigation, especially in case of large size of population. Second, needs more time and manpower. Since a large volume of data is to be collected, more time and manpower is required for its collection, analysis and interpretation. Third, not suitable for the large population. This method is meaningless in case of an infinite universe where the number of items is unlimited. Merits of sampling method. First is economical, like low cost. It is more economical than the census method, as the task of collection and analysis of the data is limited only to a small sample, like a few units of the population. Second, quick results. In this method, only a few units are analyzed, so we get quicker results. Third, indispensable or greater scope. Sampling becomes indispensable where census method is impracticable. For example, if the life of the bulbs is to be tested by the manufacturer, if the quality of nut bolts is to be tested, if blood test is to be carried out, if the quality of prints is to be tested while printing books. Fourth, scientific approach. Sampling method is more scientific than the census method, as it is possible to determine the extent of reliability of its results. Fifth, follow-up. Due to the small size of the sample, it is possible to cross-check the data to test the reliability. Sixth, helpful in checking census results. Due to scientific nature, sampling method can be used to cross-check the results of the census method. Demerits of sampling method. First, difficult to achieve % accuracy. The conclusion of the sampling method are based only the result of a few items taken from the whole population, so these may not be 100% correct. Second, bias in the selection of sample. If the investigation is biased, then he might select sample deliberately. In such cases, the selected sample may not be the best representative of population. Third, difficult to select a sample having all the characteristics of the population. In practice, it is very difficult to obtain a sample which truly represents the population. A sample may not have all the characteristics of the population. Fourth, the need for specialized knowledge and training. It is a special technique and beyond the capability of every person. Its use requires specialized knowledge and training. Types of sampling methods. First, random sampling and second, non-random sampling. Random sampling. In this kind of sampling, each and every item of the universe has an equal chance of being selected in the sample. Selection is by chance, not by choice of the investigator. Personal bias of the investigator is not involved. Like lottery method, Systematic random sampling. Non-random sampling. In this kind of sampling, each and every item of the universe does not have an equal chance of being selected in the sample, and convenience or judgment of the investigator plays an important role in selection of the sample. Selection is not by chance but by choice of the investigator. Personal bias of the investigator is involved, like judgment sampling, convenience sampling and quota sampling. Sampling errors. The difference between the actual value of the parameter of the population and its estimate is the sampling error. It is possible to reduce the magnitude of sampling error by taking a larger sample. Consider a case of income of 5 farmers of Manipur. The variable into income of farmers has measurements 500, 550, 600, 650, 700. We note that the population average of 500 plus 550 plus 600 plus 650 plus 700 divided by 5 is equal to 3000 divided by 5 is equal to 600. Now suppose we select a sample of 2 individuals where into has measurements of 500 and 600. The sample average is 500 plus 600 divided by 2 is equal to 1100 is equal to divided by 2 is equal to 550. Here the sampling error of the estimate is equal to 600 true value minus 550 estimate is equal to 50. Non-sampling errors. Non-sampling errors are more serious than the sampling errors because a sampling error can be minimized by taking a larger sample. It is difficult to minimize non-sampling error even by taking a large sample. Types of non-sampling errors. Sampling bias. Sampling bias occurs when the sampling plan is such that some members of the target population could not possibly be included in the sample. Non-response errors. Non-response occurs if an interviewer is unable to contact a person listed in the sample of a person from the sample refuses to respond. In this case, the sample observation may not be representative. Errors in data acquisition. This type of error arises from recording of incorrect responses. Suppose the teacher asks the students to measure the length of the teacher's table in the classroom. The measurement by the students may differ due to differences in measuring tape, carelessness of the student, etc. Similarly, suppose we want to collect data on prices of oranges. We know that prices vary from shop to shop and from market to market. Prices also vary according to the quality. Therefore, we can only consider the average prices. Recording mistakes can also take place as the enumerators or the respondents may commit errors in recording or transcripting the data. For example, he or she may record 13 instead of 31. Important government agency of data. There are some agencies both at the national and state level to collect, process and tabulate the statistical data. Some of the agencies at the national level are Census of India, National Sample Survey, Central Statistics Office, Registrar General of India, Directorate General of Commercial Intelligence and Statistics, Labour Bureau, etc. Census of India. The Census of India provides the most complete and continuously demographic record of population. The census is being regularly conducted every 10 years. Since 1881, the first census after independence was conducted in 1951. The census officials collect information on various aspects of populations such as the size, density, sex ratio, literacy, migration, rural-urban distribution, etc. Census data is interpreted and analyzed to understand many economic and social issues in India. National Sample Survey Office. The NSS or National Sample Survey came into existence in 1950 and was recognized as NSSO in 1970. The NSSO was established by the Government of India to conduct nationwide surveys on socio-economic issues. It conducts continuous surveys in successive rounds. The data collected by NSSO are released through reports and its quarterly journal Survection. It provides periodic estimates of literacy, school enrollment, utilization of educational services, employment, unemployment, manufacturing and service sector enterprises, etc. The NSSO also collects details of industrial activities and retail prices for various goods. So that's all for today. In next video we will see the organization of data. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and give your valuable comment. Thank you.